Think your automatic car can handle anything? Think again, because even the smoothest ride hides a few silent killers. Tiny habits that quietly eat away at your car's transmission, power, and lifespan. And the scary part? Most drivers do at least 5 of these every single day. But don't worry, by the end of this video, you'll not only know what they are, but you'll also learn one hidden tip that can literally add years to your transmission's life. Let's start with mistake number 1. A habit so common, you probably did it this week without realizing the damage it causes. 1. Running on empty. We've all been there. The fuel light comes on, and you think, I can make it another 10 miles. But every time you do that, you're quietly shortening your car's life. Your fuel pump actually lives inside the gas tank. It relies on fuel to stay cool while it's working. When you run near empty, that cooling cushion disappears. And the result? The pump overheats. Not instantly, but over time, until one day it just gives out. Worse, when your tank runs low, all the dirt and grit sitting at the bottom of it gets sucked up into your fuel system. It's like making your heart pump mud instead of blood. Keep your tank above a quarter full. It's cheaper than replacing a $700 fuel pump. But even if your tank's fine, this next habit could actually put you in danger on the road. 2. Coasting in neutral. You're rolling downhill, you want to save a bit of fuel, so you pop into neutral. Smart, right? Not even close. Here's the truth. Modern cars already shut off fuel flow when you're coasting downhill in gear. So by shifting to neutral, you're not saving fuel, you're wasting it. Even worse, you lose control. If something jumps out in front of you, you can't accelerate out of danger because your car isn't engaged. And there's a third hidden cost: extra wear. Every time you shift from neutral back into drive, while moving, you're slamming parts of your drivetrain that were never designed for that sudden jolt. Over time, that's like punching your transmission in the gut. And if you think that's bad, this next one can destroy your transmission in a single afternoon. 3. Driving through deep water. You see a flooded street and think, it's fine, I'll just go slow. But what most drivers don't realize is that automatic transmissions breathe through vents to release pressure. Those vents sit low, sometimes just inches off the ground. When you drive through deep water, it doesn't just splash, it seeps in. And when water mixes with transmission fluid, it creates a thick, milky sludge that strips away the glue inside your clutch packs. Once that happens, your transmission starts slipping. No amount of draining or drying can fully undo that damage. So remember, oil and water don't mix, and neither should your transmission and a puddle. But even if you avoid floods, this next everyday mistake is cooking your transmission alive while you're sitting still. 4. Leaving your car in drive at stoplights. You pull up to a red light, keep your foot on the brake, and stay in drive. Harmless, right? Not quite. When your car's in drive, your torque converter is still spinning, even though your car isn't moving. That constant motion generates heat inside your transmission. On a hot day, that heat can build up by 50 degrees or more in just a few minutes. Over time, that extra stress breaks down the fluid and cooks internal seals, especially if you live somewhere warm. So here's the trick. If you're stopped for more than a minute, shift to neutral. It lets fluid circulate freely and gives your transmission a breather. And while we're talking about heat, this next mistake hits hardest on cold mornings. 5. Not warming up your transmission. Engines get all the love during winter warm-ups, but transmissions need it too. When temperatures drop, transmission fluid thickens, making it harder to flow. If you shift into gear immediately after starting your car, the thick fluid can't move fast enough to protect moving parts. The result? Hard shifts, sluggish response, and long-term internal wear. Let your car idle for 30 to 60 seconds before driving. It's not about wasting fuel. It's about giving your transmission the time to wake up. But once you're moving, even your hands could be doing silent damage without you realizing it. 6. Resting your hand on the gear shifter. It's such a small thing. Your hand just rests there while driving. But inside the shifter, even that light pressure can push against internal components that weren't meant to be stressed continuously. Over time, that gentle pressure wears out bushings and selectors, the parts that help your car shift smoothly. Always keep both hands on the wheel unless you're actually changing gears. And speaking of things we tend to ignore, This next mistake might be flashing right in front of your eyes. 7. Ignoring dashboard warning lights. You've probably seen that little orange light and thought, it's probably nothing. But those lights are your car's early warning system, and ignoring them can be the difference between a $100 fix and a $2,000 repair. The transmission temperature light? It means your transmission is overheating. Keep driving, and you're baking your internal seals. The oil pressure light? That's your engine begging for lubrication. Ignore it, and you're grinding metal against metal. And that battery light? If it's on, your alternator might be failing, which means you could lose power altogether while driving. Those lights aren't annoyances. They're lifelines. And that brings us to a mistake that looks harmless, but can confuse your entire transmission system. 8. Turning off your car before shifting to park. It happens more often than you'd think. You arrive, turn off the ignition, then realize you never shifted to park. Modern cars usually won't let you remove the key or restart in that state for a reason. It disconnects the torque converter from the rest of the transmission. Do it too often, and you're forcing internal components to realign under pressure they weren't designed for. So always make sure you're fully in park before turning off the car. Now let's talk about a habit most drivers think looks cool, but your car's transmission hates it. 9. Hard acceleration from stop. You know that feeling. The light turns green and you floor it. It's fun, it's powerful, and it's quietly tearing your car apart. Hard launches strain your transmission, suspension, and engine mounts all at once. That burst of torque slams through your drivetrain like a shockwave. Even though modern cars can handle it occasionally, making it a daily habit shortens your transmission's life dramatically. Smooth acceleration isn't just better for fuel, it keeps your car young. But while gunning it hurts your car in motion, this next one does it while you're slowing down. 10. Shifting into park before you fully stop. Ever throw your car into park while it's still rolling? It might stop faster, but at a huge cost. Inside your transmission is a tiny metal pin called the parking pawl. Its only job is to lock your wheels once you've already stopped. If you engage park while moving, that small pin slams into a spinning gear, grinding it down every time. Eventually it can snap, and when it does, your car won't stay parked at all. If you hear a grinding sound while parking, that's your car screaming for mercy. Always come to a full stop before shifting. But even if you're gentle with your gears, ignoring this next maintenance rule can wreck everything inside your transmission. 11. Neglecting transmission fluid changes. You've probably heard someone say, transmission fluid lasts a lifetime. Yeah, the transmission's lifetime, not the car's. Fluid doesn't stay clean forever. It breaks down from heat, friction, and age. Once it turns brown or smells burnt, it's lost its ability to protect moving parts. Think of it like blood that's lost its oxygen. Change your transmission fluid every 50,000 miles, or as recommended by your manufacturer. That simple step could prevent thousands in repair costs. And while you're taking care of the fluid, don't forget what's holding your car in place. 12. Not using the handbrake when parked. Automatic transmissions have a locking pin that keeps the car from rolling, but that pin isn't invincible. When you park on a hill without the handbrake, all the car's weight rests on that one small part. Over time, it bends or wears, causing the car to roll slightly when you shift out of park. Using the handbrake takes 1 second, and it relieves all that pressure. So next time you park, let the handbrake take the load. Your transmission will thank you later. Now let's talk about a habit that wastes fuel and cooks your car from the inside. 13. Idling in drive for too long. Sitting in your car, engine running, AC blasting, it feels harmless. But if your car's still in drive, that constant strain adds unnecessary heat. Over time, the heat breaks down fluid and stresses your cooling system. For diesel engines, long idling causes something called ring wash, where unburned fuel leaks into the oil. For gas engines, it thins out your oil and reduces protection. If you're waiting more than a couple of minutes, turn off the engine or shift to neutral. Restarting later uses less fuel than you think. And when it's time to move again, be gentle, especially during this next scenario. 14. Shifting from drive to reverse while moving. If you've ever tried to reverse direction before fully stopping, you're forcing gears to collide in opposite directions. Older cars took that abuse directly. Newer ones have safety systems to prevent it. But even then, repeated abuse wears out the clutches and control valves. One rough shift like that might not kill your transmission today, but it's like taking a chunk out of its lifespan each time. And now, we reach one of the most misunderstood habits, one that shows up every winter. 15. Spinning your tires when stuck. You're stuck in snow or mud. Your first instinct? Step on the gas and spin the wheels. Big mistake. When your tires spin freely, the transmission sends power faster than it can handle, generating massive heat in seconds. Instead, gently alternate between drive and reverse, or use something for traction, cat litter, sand, even old carpet pieces. If your car has a low gear setting, use it to regain control slowly. And if all else fails, a small shovel and patience go a lot further than burning your clutch. But before you go, here's that hidden bonus tip that even seasoned drivers forget. Bonus tip: don't park in direct sunlight. This one sounds harmless, but it's one of the biggest reasons transmission seals fail early. When your car bakes under the sun, the heat doesn't just roast the interior, it seeps under the hood. That heat dries out rubber seals and breaks down transmission fluid faster. Over time, your car may start shifting slower or feel sluggish. The fix? Whenever possible, park in the shade. And if you can't, use a windshield sunshade. It actually helps more than you'd think. UV rays also fade paint, haze your headlights, and dry out your tires. Shade doesn't just keep you cool, it keeps your car young. Conclusion: most of these mistakes seem small, harmless, even, but together, they quietly destroy one of the most expensive parts of your car, the transmission. By breaking these habits, you're not just saving money, you're extending your car's life, keeping it smoother, quieter, and more reliable for years. So tell me in the comments, what's the biggest driving mistake you've ever seen? And if you found this video helpful, hit that like button and subscribe, because your next drive could cost you a lot less than you think, and your car will thank you for it.